Support for this episode comes from Signature Bank.
Hi, this is Gary Head, Chairman and CEO of Signature Bank of Arkansas. Our bank was founded in Northwest Arkansas in 2005, and since then we have grown to over $985 million in assets and 202 teammates to serve you. We have locations in Bentonville, Springdale, Rogers, Fayetteville, Harrison, Jonesboro, Brinkley, and Banco C, our 100% Hispanic location in downtown Rogers. We have talented bankers that love the communities that we serve. Our bankers have authority to do business and are eager to do so. As chairman, I welcome your call at 479-684-3700 or visit online at signature.bank and tell them that you heard about us at I Am Northwest Arkansas. Signature Bank of Arkansas is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Attention Northwest Arkansas businesses and talent seekers. Introducing OnboardNWA.com, your hyperlocal job board crafted for our unique community. Struggling to find the perfect match for your job openings? Onboard NWA simplifies the hiring process, connecting you with the region's top talent through tailored talent matching solutions. Whether you're an employer seeking expertise or a professional looking for your next opportunity, Onboard NWA is here for you. Discover more at onboardnwa.com, and let's build the future of Northwest Arkansas together.
It's time for another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas, the podcast covering the intersection of business, culture, entrepreneurship, and life in general here in the Ozarks. Whether you are considering a move to this area or trying to learn more about the place you call home, we've got something special for you. Without further ado, here's our fearless host, Randy Wilburn.
Hey folks, how are you doing? It's Randy Wilburn here from I Am Northwest Arkansas. Excited to be with you as always. We have a special episode for you today. It is Christmas. It is the holiday season, and we decided to do a holiday episode for you to check out and to enjoy. So we will resume regular programming next week, but for today and for this week coming up, leading up to New Year's, we certainly want to encourage you to go back and listen to some of the old stuff in our catalog. We have over 248 episodes to choose from as of the time of recording this episode. But more importantly, I certainly want you to take time to reflect on what this year has meant for you personally. And if our podcast played even a very small role in that, we are certainly honored to be a part of your life and to be a part of who you are. And I just really wanted to take some time today to say thank you, to give thanks, to be reflective of all the people that have impacted our lives here at the podcast. And I'd be remiss. I know I'm going to miss people, so we're going to just get things started right away. And as you can see here, we have a beautiful, beautiful image. And I don't know if many of you have seen this, but we recently had Shelley Muber, who is a guest on the podcast and is a local maker, a local artist, created this artifact for us, which is essentially this item is essentially a print of our logo, but it is embedded with a bunch of logos from all of the previous guests on the podcast. Isn't that cool? And you might even see if you've been a guest on the podcast, you might even see your logo on here. So it's pretty exciting to see that. And we certainly, Shelley just blew us away when she gave it to us. So we've already put them on thank you cards. We've put them on mugs. and we've put them on, what else did we put them on? And a couple of prints that I made. So we might even put them on some refrigerator magnets and make them available. So if you like this, definitely let us know, and we might figure a way out to get you one. And certainly if you come on the podcast, we will give you a thank you note with this beautiful artwork on it, courtesy of Shelley Muber. And so, again, this is something that, as you look at it, I guess, the thing is, I've been recording this podcast now almost 4.5 years, and I cannot believe the amount of people that this podcast has impacted and the amount of companies and individuals and organizations that have been on this podcast. And so, I don't take it lightly that I've been able to do what I've done in the last 4.5 years. And so that's something that I have to give thanks for, because certainly it's a lot of people start a podcast and after 2 or 3 episodes, they're done. But, I looked up and here we are 248 plus episodes in, and we're still going strong. So thank you so much, Northwest Arkansas. I really appreciate you guys and love you from the bottom of my heart. But I wanted to take some time today to say thank you to several people and organizations that have supported me this year. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention KUAF. You guys have heard me lately mention the Furman Garner Performance Studio, where I'm now recording a lot of my episodes. But I want to give a shout out to Lee Wood, the general manager, to Kyle Kellums, the host of Ozarks at Large, to Jasper Logans, who is a community outreach organizer there at KUAF, and certainly to Matthew Moore and everybody that's at KUAF, Rachel, and the rest of the team. There's just so many amazing people. And then all of my podcasting colleagues that are there, including the folks from the Northwest Arkansas MLK organization and the R Word podcast. And I mean, you just name it, Irving Camacho and his podcast. There's just so many great organizations that come out of public radio, and it's an honor for me to be able to record there on a regular basis. And I hope to continue to do that as we move into the new year. We'll be recording there. So if you get an invite from me to be on the podcast, I'll make you radio famous. Plus, our podcast episode comes out on Ozarks at Large every Tuesday, just about every Tuesday. And then sometimes Kyle will mix it up here or there, depending on if we're running a bonus episode. But every Tuesday, they'll give you a vignette of our most recent podcast episode, and he and Matthew or somebody else will talk about it and present it and give you a snippet of what the podcast is all about. And the cool thing is that you get to basically, listen to it, sample it. So if you haven't been listening to podcasts, but you listen to the radio, well, we thank you for that. And certainly there's a lot more where that came from. So suffice it to say that we have some really fun things in store for 2024. And that rhymes. So I like that. And so I just want to thank KUAF. The other organization that I really want to thank, and it's another organization that we partnered with in this past year, is the Northwest Arkansas Council. So Nelson Peacock and the rest of his team, if you don't know the history of the Northwest Arkansas Council and why it was created in the first place, it is absolutely phenomenal. And I think I actually want to do an episode where I sit down. I met with and interviewed Nelson Peacock for an episode. I want to do a historic deep dive into the genesis of the Northwest Arkansas Council when Sam Walton and J.B. Hunt and Don Tyson all got together and said, hey, you know what? This area that we're in is really special, and we want to do something to make sure that this area continues to grow even beyond our time here. And I think it was amazing that these titans of industry had the foresight to see that what the future could be. I say could because you just never know, right? But what the future could be here in Northwest Arkansas. And so way, way back, these guys created the Northwest Arkansas Council. And a lot of people don't even know what the council does. But I mean, they they have create opportunities to bring people here. They create awareness of what Northwest Arkansas is all about. They link all the different businesses together. They link all the different organizations. You've got Engage NWA, what Margot LeMaster's doing with her group. You've got Groundworks with Duke McClarty and Isabel Gamara. You've got Joe Rollins and the Workforce Group. You've got everything that Nate Green and it is doing is amazing with the council, and there's just a lot going on. And of course, my buddy Rob Smith, who is my initial introduction into the council, and I appreciate him from the bottom of my heart. Shout out to all of the folks at the council for just partnering up with me and partnering up with I Am Northwest Arkansas. And we look forward to what we can do in 2024 as we continue to expand this partnership and create more opportunities. So I appreciate that. And just be aware. If you're not aware of the Northwest Arkansas Council, you need to check them out for yourself. And we have a lot of episodes in our catalog from this past year that we did in conjunction with the council. So when you see those episodes, we've got special show notes. You have all the connections in terms of how you can find the Northwest Arkansas Council online, social media. Definitely check them out when you get a chance. I also want to give a shout out to the Northwest Arkansas Urban Land Institute. ULI is a international organization, but we have a chapter right here in Northwest Arkansas. And a gentleman named Wes Craiglow, who is an amazing leader, has a team with him that is simply the best. And it's led by a young lady named Megan Brown. And Megan is simply an outstanding leader, and she puts on the Place Summit along with Wes and the rest of the team, and Ricky, Alex. They do such an amazing job. And Urban Land Institute is all about placemaking in Northwest Arkansas, meaning how do we make Northwest Arkansas the best that we can? Are we thoughtful about how we're growing? Are we just growing for the sake of growing, or are we thinking about what our growth really looks like? And so I got to tell you, these guys are on top of it, and they have created a platform. They have created a community of leaders that have come together and said, yeah, we want to be a part of what you guys are doing. And so shout out to ULI. We just had a second place summit that I got to host, which happened in Fayetteville. The first one happened in Bentonville last year at the Record. This year was in Fayetteville at the Fayetteville Public Library. Amazing event. Some outstanding people came, and I would encourage you, if you care about what this area is going to be like in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you need to become a member of the Urban Land Institute, the Northwest Arkansas chapter, and you need to connect with Wes Craiglow and what he's doing. And we have to grow sensibly. We have to grow smart. And Urban Land Institute, the folks here in the Northwest Arkansas chapter, are doing an amazing job of getting that started. And so certainly would encourage you to check them out. Now I want to mention, because I'd be remiss if I didn't mention these guys, Gary Head and Tori Bogner and the rest of the Signature Bank Bonko C team. Real quick, you guys have heard me say this. Finding a good bank wherever you live is really important. I have nothing against the big banks that have, 1-800 numbers and, everything's done virtually. But I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like having a community bank in your back pocket, somebody that you can really interact with, a banker that knows you, that knows your name. When you walk into the bank, everybody says hi to you. They offer you something to drink, a mint or whatever. But that's what Signature Bank is for me. And I actually got connected with Gary even before I moved here almost 10 years ago. And I thank Mark Zweig every day for introducing me to Gary Head and the rest of his team. They've been nothing short of amazing. I have business relationships with them. I have personal relationships with them. I've gone to basketball games with Gary, baseball games. Just you name it. They're just outstanding. And And it has nothing to do with being able to do the things that I just mentioned. It has everything to do with being seen and heard when you have a banking relationship. And the thing I'm really excited about is that these guys actually partnered up with I Am Northwest Arkansas, and they were the first real sponsor of the podcast and have been for the last 4 years. We've referred a lot of business to them, and we will continue to do that because we really appreciate having a relationship with them. So whether you are looking for a bank because you only speak Spanish, and if that's the case, you're probably not listening to this podcast in the first place. But if you know somebody that only speaks Spanish and are looking for somebody where they can talk to them in their own native language, Banco C, Francisco Herrero and the rest of his team, Karina and everybody else up in Rogers, they're about to open a branch in Springdale. They'll take good care of you. And then Signature Bank has offices in Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, Bentonville, and they have branches throughout other parts of the state. But I'm focused primarily with Signature Bank right here in Northwest Arkansas. They do an amazing job as a bank. You could certainly do a lot worse. And I would encourage you to check out Signature Bank if you're looking for a banking relationship that matters. Signature Bank is the place to go. But I just wanted to give those guys a shout out because they believed in what I was doing and they believed in the mission of I Am Northwest Arkansas from the start. And they've stuck with me since the beginning. And so they're kind of like my ride or die bank. And if there is such a thing, that's them. Definitely check out Signature Bank. And finally, I just want to mention Onboard NWA. As if I didn't have enough to do, I decided in 2023 to start a hyperlocal job board. But I want to explain just real quickly why I decided to do this. I decided because I had heard from enough small business owners and individuals and organizations, so like nonprofits and the other, that finding good talent has always been a challenge. And small to medium-sized businesses typically struggle in this area, no matter where you are. It's not just a Northwest Arkansas thing. It could be anywhere. But, Walmart, J.B. Hunt, Tyson, they don't really struggle in the area of talent acquisition. Yeah, they're always looking for the best and brightest, but they have an apparatus in place. Most small businesses here in Northwest Arkansas do not. That's why I created Onboard NWA. And that's why I believe, because I actually have a background in the area of talent acquisition and more than almost 20 years of experience. Yeah, I can walk and chew gum. I do more than just podcasts, but podcasting is one of my first loves. But I also love helping people. And one of the ways that have always been successful at helping people is helping firms and companies identify talent to take their companies to the next level, right? I know that sounds a little cliche, but that's what you do, right? When you hire smart people, when you hire people that are smarter than you, and then you get out of their way and let them do their thing, that allows you to take your company to a whole nother level. So that's what we're doing with Onboard NWA. It is a hyperlocal job board. We are focusing on the needs of small to medium-sized businesses, of which there are a lot. I've learned this from the Northwest Arkansas Council. There are a lot of small businesses, and we want to help them. And so that's why we have this job board. There's a QR code there you can click on if you're if you're watching this video. You can, if you are an employer, you can create an account for free. If you are looking for a job, you can create an account and set up job alerts for whatever type of profession you're looking at, whether it's nursing, construction, service industry, you want to go into transportation. It doesn't matter. We got you covered. And, we are really excited for what Onboard NWA represents in this area. We're actually creating a podcast for it. We're doing a bunch of stuff in 2024, which is really going to expand it. The job board has only been up about 2.5 months. You can go to onboardnwa.com and you can check it out for yourself. But we almost have 1,900 jobs on there, and we continue to add jobs on a regular basis. So if you or somebody that you know is looking for work or looking to hire, onboardnwa.com is a hyperlocal community-based job board that I think you'll really enjoy. So definitely check it out. Let us know what you think about it. You can reach me anytime on that job board, day or night. I'm happy to chat with you. And if you need help looking for a job, that's what we're here for. Excuse me. So we'll figure something out and we'll help you out to the best of our abilities. But check out onboardnwa.com when you can, and that QR code should work. If you're looking at this on a video on your computer, you can take your phone, put it up to that QR code, and it should give you a direct connection to our onboardnwa.com site, and that should help you out. So that's kind of it. I really just wanted to just give a little thanks for all the people that have come into my life while doing this podcast over the last 4.5 years, but especially to 2023 being that first year out of the pandemic that we've kind of been able to all collectively breathe a sigh of relief and say, okay, let's try to move this thing forward. We're dealing with inflation. We're dealing with a number of factors. We're dealing with wars and rumors of wars, but life continues to move forward, and Northwest Arkansas is continuing to grow on a daily basis. People are moving here on a daily basis. As you know, you've heard me say over and over again, I think this number is still valid, but 36 new people a day are moving to Northwest Arkansas. I don't know if that's on Christmas too. I gotta ask somebody about that, but let's just say, imagine 36 new people moving to Northwest Arkansas on Christmas Day, the day that I'm recording this. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, that's what's happening here. People are moving here. You know people that are moving here. I know people that are moving here. And so Northwest Arkansas is going to continue to grow. And so I want to encourage you to take part in what's happening here in this area and be a part of the change that you seek. I've said it before on the podcast. My grandfather reminded me of this. What if you pour into the city that you're in, that city will give back to you. And so I would encourage you in any way, your time, your talent, whatever you have, give it to the area that you're in, and watch the return that you will get on that investment of time and effort. Believe you me, I have invested a lot in this area over the last 10 years, even more so over the last 5. And the return that I'm receiving has been tremendous. I certainly would welcome you to join me in that effort. And let's see what we can make of this area called Northwest Arkansas, the Heartland. Let's make it special. Yep. How about that? Let's make it special. Now, finally, I want to share something with you, and it's only because I watched It's a Wonderful Life twice in the last 24 hours. I absolutely love this movie. I love the fact that it's just a reminder, A, that we can't have regrets, that you're important, that you matter, and that if you weren't here, that there would be a hole left, right? If you watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life, when George Bailey wishes that he had never lived and he tries to kill himself, and then the angel takes him back in time and shows him what, Bedford Falls would be like if he had never lived. And the place was a hot mess. And it's each and every one of us matters. And that story is so profound when you watch it. And just like A Christmas Carol, I just saw that recently. Shout out to Theater Squared. Appreciate those guys. And Chris Seawood and the rest of the team over at Theater Squared, Shannon Jones, Bob Ford, and all the amazing people at Theater Squared. But I saw A Christmas Carol there last weekend, and it was simply amazing. It's already gone, but you can definitely, when it comes back around next year, I certainly encourage you to check it out. But just watching that story and the arc of that story, and sometimes we have to be reminded of how precious life is, and also the fact that even in the little things that we're doing, they do make a difference. And, we have to be willing to not sit in judgment on things that we've done in the past that we feel like have hampered us. I've made so many mistakes. I've told you guys on my Amazon stock mistakes. I've made some real estate mistakes. You name it. It happens. We have to get past that. And I think as we embark upon a new year coming up in the next couple of days, I think it's important for us to be thinking about what the future is. We can't live in the past and the mistakes that we made there. We have to move forward. And so I really want to encourage you to use these next couple of days. If you're listening to this, I hope around Christmas, use these next couple of days to get yourself prepared, get your mind right for what could be in 2024, not what didn't happen in 2023. I really want to encourage you to set yourself up for a level of success that only you can demand. Nobody else can demand it for you. You have to demand it for yourself. I know I'm about to embark upon some new things that I want to do, and I'll share it very soon. But suffice it to say, I'm making some major changes in some eating habits. I'm a snacker, of course, but I think we're about to embark upon a true vegan lifestyle. I've done it before, but I'm about to go whole hog, no pun intended, into veganism. And y'all pray for your boy here, because I like to eat, and I'm certainly going to miss some chicken wings, but we will work it out. But I'm just putting it out there because I like accountability too. And I'm not that private that I can't talk about my life and what I'm doing, because I know a lot of other people have gone through it and will go through it. And sometimes we need to be the example that we seek, because you never know who's watching, and you never know who will be impacted by what you say and or what you do. I'll never forget, I did a class, not a training, but it was a talk that I did to about 200 architects. And I got a call from one guy that said, man, your program on routines impacted my life, and I lost 40 pounds in 3 months. And I was blown away. I was like, man, my advice did that for you. That's amazing. And so anytime I hear stories like that, I always remind people, you never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. So I really want to encourage you to get your pen and paper down, mark out the things that you want to see happen in 2024, the things that you want to do in 2024, and go after them with reckless abandon. You got this. And I'm here to root you on. If I can help you in any way, always reach out to me. hello@IamNorthwestArkansas.com. I'm happy to chat with you. If I can support you, if I can give you an encouraging word, I'm here to do that at all times. Listen, this episode ran a lot longer than I thought it was going to run, but I'll leave you with this little note here. At the end of It's a Wonderful Life, Clarence, the angel who finally got his wings, said this to George Bailey. He wrote in a little note. He said, remember, no man, and I'm going to add, or woman, is a failure who has friends. I have a lot of friends. You're one of my friends. You have a lot of friends. Just remember that. You have a lot going for you, even if things might be not as good as you want them to be. And this may not be the Christmas that you were hoping for, but you have friends, you have people that care. I care. And listen, I appreciate each and every one of you that picks up your phone and listens to this podcast. I don't know how you listen to it. Maybe you ask Alexa to play it for you. But the bottom line is, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And just remember that you have friends. Remember that no man or woman is a failure who has friends. I'm Randy Wilburn, the host of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast, and this has been a special Christmas episode. I hope you enjoy it, and listen, I look forward to being around you guys and connecting with all of you in the new year.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. Check us out each and every week, available anywhere that great podcasts can be found. For show notes or more information on becoming a guest, visit IamNorthwestArkansas.com. We'll see you next week on I Am Northwest Arkansas.